ci poco qui nel cor. Like every other human being, we like to be immortalized, whether it's photography, whether it's recognition. You know, there's inside of our genome, there's this feeling that when we're gone, we need to have something done or left behind. So portraiture is one of the most anachronistic professions because it starts as its roots in the full-on of the Renaissance time. And it all started in Florence, my city. And I say it's anachronistic because everything now works with the gallerist and the artist, and then there's this third element, which is the patron. Before, artist and patron. And artist and patron would help each other to create art for the sake of art. What I've tried to do with my profession, with my art, is going back to that system of patron artist and make it something very personal, very private, very amicable. What we do together as patron and artist is create something that is good for the next hundreds of years to come. That's all. Recently I had a client that passed out. His name was Heath Ledger. At the end of the story was like, you know what? I don't want a portrait of just my daughter. I want to be me holding my daughter, which I thought was particularly cool. Unfortunately, the flowers that I was going to bring as a guest to the house, I instead brought to the memorial, and that was that. As long as I can keep doing this and I have the demand for this, I am booked until 2014 and pretty much not taking more commission for another 2 years, 3 years ahead, because, you know, this is it. It's one hand, and, you know, there's so much you can do with these pieces. They take 4 months and a half. There's a lot of sketches, there's a lot of photographs, there's a lot of notes, and once I have the image, well, maybe I can actually show you with this. This is an oil painting on teak, which is a very difficult material to deal with, because although it retains a lot of moisture and oil, it's a piece of wood, so like every piece of wood, it would crack. And so while I was in the midst of this painting, of course, there was a fracture. So I had to, you know, sort this out, and there were technical problems. I had to redo it in acrylic. And then the media that I used to put the brush strokes mixed and caked and melt the priming. So I was like, But it, of course, comes from photographs of mine. So during the artificial lights, I use this one, which is more detailed. And during the daylight, the sunshine, I use this one, which reflects the light in 2 different ways, in order to, in the end, come up with this, which is a mixture between those 2 pictures and all the feelings. The fulfilling part of this job is the challenge, because there's always a challenge. Because this piece, I start paint this piece, I don't know when I'm going to finish. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I have no idea when I start the piece if I'm up to the challenge, because it's very, very, very difficult to render a piece like that. However, there's a moment of winning the battle. And that reflects in the everyday things. My mood gets totally like, yes, I conquered it, you know, now I can just, it's gonna be like a stroll in the park. Even in the future, even when all these arts are dead, even with there's going to be just computer, no more photography, no more this, no more that. Everything is digital, and printing is digital, not done by hand. But at the end of the day, since human beings are still the same as 500 years ago, and 2,000 years ago, and 3,000 years ago, there will be still few people that would cherish and love things that are done with the hand, with passion, with beauty, with patience, with perseverance, with the soul.